That time again, Saturday night on PHL 17. So you know you're watching the Delco Duo. I'm one half of the duo, Monica Cryan.
And I'm Jenna Meisner. It always feels like it comes so fast.
You think?
Delco Duo on Saturday night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just like all of a sudden.
There's so much excitement right now. Of course, obviously, we're wearing our Jason Kelsey hats.
Which is getting cut off because it's super
it's
tall.
so tall. I feel like I can't even move my head freely because it's going to fall right off.
Well,
see, look
there
at that.
you go.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so I know we've got a few shows. We've got this show and next show.
Yes, before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl. But, I mean, it's hard to talk about anything else other than the Eagles. So let's just dive into it and do the debrief. And it's going to be Eagles themed. It's crazy that Jason Kelsey celebrated the Super Bowl win with this hat. That was 5 years ago, and he's still on the team. I love that because teams go through like a lot of turnover.
I thought you were going to say impressive in just the weight of these, because ours obviously is a duplicate from James May Costume Company, Delaware County's own. He's been on McDade Boulevard for a million years. Love you, Jim May. It's just impressive that this is heavy enough. Imagine the one, and he had the whole suit on. Like the Mummer's costume is so heavy.
I know Mummer's costumes are heavy. I thought this was an exact replica. This isn't the one that Jason Kelsey basically
pretty
wore.
much is, but I imagine that his was more, had more sturdiness to it versus these.
Oh, I love these.
And just imagine wearing it all day. I mean, I'm sure the alcohol helps.
Yep.
Alcohol helps a little bit, helps with the pain.
Yeah.
But Jim May actually was selling these ahead of the NFC Championship game.
So smart.
He was in Delco, and I'm not sure if he's still continuing that into before the Super Bowl, but I would imagine people are still interested in getting one of these. So
you show up to a Super Bowl party, and this is the way to go. We're still trying to get our Super Bowl party together.
You've got time. You've got some time.
Yeah.
But even in the link, like when they do the pan of the fans, you definitely see these
a lot
in the crowd. So.
I love it. I love it. So we're getting ready, and I love that Delco base. Love that the balloons are still together.
No, we had these at our last show. If you didn't watch last week, these have lasted now 2 weeks, and you'll have to see for the Super Bowl if they're still there for the next week.
We need them to last one more week.
They're looking good. I think they're going to.
Because next week's show, Saturday, is going to be our big Super Bowl. We're going to have a party.
Valentine's Day. Like there's a lot of stress on next week's show.
Okay.
So we can't think about that.
We're just having fun. Who is your favorite Eagle right now?
All right, my favorite Eagle right now, we talked about this a little bit beforehand that you were going to ask this, so I really thought about it. Hassan Reddick, hands down. Former Temple out, walked on to the football team, 16 sacks in the regular season. He is killing it. So I am going with Hassan Reddick.
That is not fair that you looked up stats.
Everyone's talking about how amazing he's been this season. He has just been sacking them left and right.
All right, well then if you're going to go like Temple, I'll go Penn State. Miles Sanders, favorite Eagle.
Is that what you were going to say before I said Temple, or who?
Yes, it was going to be Miles Sanders or Jalen Hurts. I'm loving him.
I feel like Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey, those are all easy picks for me. I had to think outside of the box.
Okay, right, but that's what I'm saying. Like inside the box, it is Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey. They're just like, I feel like the core of Eagles fans. Like the Eagles fans love them. And then when we're actually talking like players that are really in talent, Miles Sanders, Hassan Reddick.
Okay, I feel like I'm Jalen Hurts and you're my AJ Brown. You're the AJ Brown and my Jalen Hurts.
What were they? The Batman?
Jalen.
What was the Batman thing that they were doing?
No, that wasn't the two of them. I think that was Darius Slay, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. We've got some issues to get to tonight. They're not football themed like they were last week, but next week maybe we'll do a little bit of football for you. My head is sweating. I need to take
We can take these off.
Woo. All right, let's get to the first issue.
This is Maddie from Millbourne. My 7-year-old son told me he wants to try self-checkout line at the grocery store. I'm a big believer in learning by doing, so I let him. Other customers were frustrated by his slow pace.
Oh, Maddie, what are you doing?
She's teaching her son.
Okay, depends on the time. Was this a Sunday? I feel like Sunday is probably one of the busiest days at the grocery stores. Was it a Sunday? Was it, a Monday at 1 o'clock? It all depends on the time for me, because if I'm waiting in the self-checkout line and there's a 7-year-old trying for the first time to self-checkout, I'm getting annoyed. But also, I don't have children yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, one's cooking, but...
You should never tell your child no if what they're trying to do is learn. You can tell them no if they're being dangerous. You can tell them no if they're being bad. Them trying to learn, nope. You say yes. You go for it, and you can wait.
I agree with that sentiment, but you have to help them. Maddie should kind of assist with this. This is the first time her 7-year-old wants to try the self-checkout. I know much older people who have no idea how the self-checkout works. I mean, we're talking full-on adults, 30,
Right.
40, 50, 60, whatever age, and this is a 7-year-old now attempting to do the self-checkout. I think you definitely need some guidance.
But all the grocery stores that I go to, that you go to, many of the grocery stores have multiple self-checkout lines. So, and not only that, but you know, when we're talking like Giant, you've got the line to get to the 9 different self-checkouts. So you're not necessarily holding up everyone in that line. It's just one checkout. They can go to the 8th cashier, or they can go to the 6th one. You're at the 7th. It's fine. It's fine.
I think the way that this one was set up and some of the more information that we received was that it was one line to multiple checkouts. So kind of like that 15 or less type line. So people obviously, you know, when you're in the multiple self-checkouts, you have a little bit more privacy.
That's what I'm saying.
But when you have the line where you can see every person at every machine, I can totally understand a person seeing a 7-year-old checking out from the grocery store and thinking, all right, maybe not the time and place.
Right. And I think one of the hardest things about it is your child can be really smart, but their height. You know what I mean? Like, how
That
are
doesn't
you?
have anything to do with it.
How are you actually scanning things? You got to be like below the height of the actual.
And she even says
conveyor belt.
that he nailed the produce. Like, I can't even get the produce sometimes.
I know.
When it's telling me to weigh it and to enter it, I get very stressed out.
Well, that's the thing, is we keep acting like adults are so fast through the self-checkout. I have seen some of the slowest adults in self-checkout constantly, you know, putting it in the bag before the weight has gone through, and now it's like, please see the cashier for help.
Oh my gosh, there's nothing more embarrassing than when it starts blinking and it's like, assistance is on the way.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like beaming at you.
And I hate how they say, assistance is on the way. No, it's not. No one's coming. I don't see anyone coming for miles.
I agree with you that, you know, it's all your kid. If your kid wants to learn, by all means, they should have that right to learn.
Yes.
But I also feel like toys nowadays are so high tech. Maybe give them a toy to kind of entry level and then help them and then let them do it on their own.
And they have some really cool grocery store toys. They're so fun. I want to play with them.
Let's not do a dry run at the grocery store.
All right. We've got another issue coming up about a roommate who speaks 3 languages.
How many languages do you speak?
Barely English.
I would say
Delco
2.
English.
English and 1 elementary language. We'll talk about that coming up next.
And welcome back to the Delco Duo. Before we get to our next topic, real quick question and query. Jason Kelce, the whole story is that he's bringing, or his wife is bringing her OBGYN to the Super Bowl because she's 38 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
You know, flying, always actually a huge issue for women who are pregnant. It can send you into labor.
Especially the distance. I mean, that's a 5-6 hour flight, I believe. So that's,
Right,
that's a long one.
And what, the higher you go up, right, the more likely it is to induce labor.
This is my first time. You've been pregnant twice. You might know more than me. I don't know that much.
Question. So now that you're pregnant, would you go, if your husband was in the Super Bowl, would you go 38 weeks pregnant?
If I could bring my care team, which obviously money's not a thing for them, like
Yes.
they can afford to do that,
Okay.
I absolutely would.
Would go to the Super Bowl.
I would
Absolutely.
just hope that I wouldn't go in labor on the plane. That's when it's a problem.
Because it does. It happens a lot. Women don't realize they get on the plane and they're like, I'm good, I'm fine.
We have the stories on the news.
And it induces labor. Being on a plane induces labor. More likely than if you're not on a plane.
Best of luck to her. I hope everything goes well.
It'll be fine.
And if anything does happen, healthy, happy moments.
During the Super
Win
Bowl.
the Super Bowl and have a baby. That would be
Yes.
something.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's get to our next issue then. And this is Wendy from Woodland.
All right, so my roommate speaks 3 languages and makes it her whole personality. Whenever she's watching TV or listening to music, it's in another language, and it makes it hard to bond. And the languages that Wendy speaks are English, German, and Spanish.
Okay, Wendy, I wouldn't necessarily think this is a bad thing. I don't necessarily think your roommate is making this her whole personality. I think that is who she is. She speaks 3 languages. Sometimes she feels comfortable watching TV in German. Why are you faulting her just because she's not defaulting to your lifestyle?
I agree. I think that this is sort of a freshman roommate type of situation, random selection. You move in with your roommate, and everyone has the hope that you're going to be really close and be friends, and it just doesn't always work out that way.
Not.
But I could see it being a little frustrating if your roommate does speak English as one of their language, and that's your only language that you speak, but they do things they enjoy in the other languages available to them, because you might want to watch TV with them, or you might want to listen to music with them. And for you kind of feel like, oh, I'm an outsider because I don't understand and I don't speak the language.
Right. I was picturing more of like she's watching TV, because don't most college students now just watch TV on their laptop? Like she's plugging that in. She's listening to it herself. Why do you fault her for listening to something that she feels more comfortable with? Maybe the shows that she's watching are only in German. You know what I mean? They've got some good TV in Germany.
I've never seen any German television.
I don't know.
I'm half German, but I don't know any words except
Sprechende Deutsch.
There's one that I know, then I can't think of it because it sounds like a bad word. It sounds like Shih Tzu, but it's not. Like the dog. That's a dog. I could say that on TV.
A lot of German words sound like curses.
But anyway.
Yeah, I just think, I don't think she's not trying to bond with you. I think she's just living her life as she usually does, and that's in German, Spanish. If she's talking to her mom, who only speaks Spanish, why are you mad that she's talking to her mom?
I think the issue is her primary language is English, and she's choosing not to bond with her roommate in English. Mm-hmm. I don't know. How am I going to say this? I understand that making that your whole personality, like people do make things like that their whole personality.
Right,
like
they do.
World travelers, or, I go here, I've been there. Like a lot of people do.
People who travel a lot make that their personality.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so
it
annoying.
is possible that if she does speak all of these languages, it's because she's very well traveled, and she might make that her personality.
Right. But what I would say to Wendy is, don't forget, yes, this is annoying and you want to bond, but it could be so much worse. You hear of nightmare roommates, and sometimes there's, physicality involved. Like they get physical, and it's just, you don't want that. It could be a lot worse. Maybe just enjoy that you guys have your own separate things. Yeah.
I loved my freshman roommate. I'm pretty sure I've talked about her on the show before.
Right, we have.
She was from St. Thomas. She taught me how to wind. It's like a version of like,
dancing.
I don't want to say twerking, but it's almost like it's a Caribbean style.
So fun.
And I just was so bad at it, but we bonded over that because it was like, teach me the music and how you like to dance, and we loved it. But we didn't hang out other than just kind of like being in the dorm together.
Right. You don't have to be best friends with your roommate.
And your roommate.
Yes.
Gave you a hard time, not about language, but about, I guess, tone?
My Delco accent.
Your accent.
Yeah, she was from Jersey, and
all places.
Friends. I know, like Jersey, you're right over the
and you have
the river.
Jersey people have accents as well.
I know, and they made fun of my accent, which some people would say, "What are you talking about?" But before I went to college and spent 10 years in the industry, I had a thicker Delco accent, and so I had called.
Which is hard to believe because you still like
home and phone. I mean, she was like, they made fun of me for saying home and phone. But when I called her phone from my home, I had to say, hey, I'm calling you from my cell phone, but you can also call my home phone. And apparently that just threw them over the edge. They were like, you are so Philly trash, like is what they were trying to say. And so I thought we weren't going to be friends, but I still wanted to live with her because I really didn't care. I was like, I don't care if we're friends or not. I just need a place to live.
I think it's better when you're not friends, to be honest. You get sick of your roommate way easier if you are friends and you're constantly going out together. So Wendy, I think that you should chill out and let her speak whatever languages she wants, and you go about your college experience with other friends.
Speaking only English. Okay.
Expand your mind a little,
God, Wendy.
There's more than just English out there, okay? All right, coming up, this is really funny to me. I don't know if it's as funny to Monica, but she's got an issue this week, and it's technically my week, but this issue was too good that we have to share it with you. So stay with us.
My life is a hot mess. And thanks so much for sticking with us on the Delco Duo Saturday nights. We talked about 2 issues, and now we've got one of our own, and usually Jenna and I will go back and forth. And this is your week, but this week was such a hot mess for me that Jenna's like, I have nothing compared to your life. So
Monica crying.
Here we are.
This is the double whammy, and even if I did have an issue, I would still like to discuss this one because it's been making me laugh for a couple of days now.
Yeah, so we have a woman who comes in, a nanny technically, to drive our kids to school because unfortunately I work real early mornings and my husband actually works really early in the morning as well.
Which is so crazy, like that you both are out the door incredibly early.
Like, why does it have to be this way? And so on top of daycare, we have someone drive them to daycare. And it is a really tough time of the day, but we put it out there to people and said, it's early in the morning, but it's an easy job. You just get the kids ready and then send them off to school.
And then drop them off.
Yeah, that's it. And you get, extra money. And then you can have like a regular job. So this woman took the job, and it's been working out really, really well. But a little bit more recently, she's been calling out, and she usually gets there 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And at 4:30 one morning, she texts us and says, "I'm sorry I can't make it. I understand if this is fireable. I'm so sorry." And I'm just like. And then she sends this text message. This was our conversation. So I said, "Are you still coming tomorrow?" And she goes, "Yes, I'll be there tomorrow. I sincerely and beyond sorry for today. I understand if you'd like tomorrow to be my last day."
She wants to not work for you so bad. It's so obvious.
And then she goes, "I can continue to come until you find a replacement." And I'm like, you keep mentioning fireable and firing her.
She didn't answer you. Please come tomorrow. You are begging this woman. This thread is what's making me laugh. Like she could not want to quit more, but doesn't know how. She's saying the first time, "Okay, I'm not coming in an hour." Mind you, at 4:30 in the morning, I'm not coming in an hour. I understand if this is a fireable offense.
Yep.
The next follow-up is, "I'll still work until you find someone else." Like, she's like waving the Monica fire me flag.
Just quit. I'm not going to be, like, this is what me and my husband said. We're not going to be the ones to say, "You're done." You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that. If you don't want to work.
You don't want to find someone again.
Yes, I know.
Because it's a big process to even find someone in the first place. And 2, I mean, at least she's communicating with you and just like not showing up.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yes, I would hate that.
I mean, if she just didn't, like flat out didn't show up and wasn't communicating with you, I think that's grounds to, okay, maybe we need to start. But she doesn't want to work for you guys.
She keeps saying this. She's like, "Doesn't seem like she wants to work for you." And I'm like,
She literally is saying to you, "I will work until you find someone else. Fire me. This is a fireable offense." And Monica's like, "Please come tomorrow."
Please come tomorrow. I don't want to find someone that has to show up at my house at 5:30 in the morning anymore. And it's not even that, but like, again, it's this whole like
culture.
Gen Z quiet quitting.
Talk a little bit more about that. If people at home, because we've talked about it on the news show before, like more of what is quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting is in your line of work. You're at your job every day, and you just don't care. And you're
waiting to be fired.
You're waiting to be fired.
You're doing a poor job, kind of, not on purpose, but you're not going above and beyond to complete your tasks, or you're kind of just skating by.
Right. And I think, like, on top of skating by, you're doing
a bad job. And you know you are. You're not trying.
And you're like, or you're like, kind of make it tough for everybody else to work as well. But not outright quit. Now, is some of that because people like to quiet quit because then they get unemployment? Is that what they're doing? Or they just don't ever want to be the confrontational type.
It could go both ways. It could go, you want to be able to, say you were fired. So, because I'm not sure if it's easier to apply. I know that was a huge issue during COVID because so many people were unfortunately laid off, and like the unemployment couldn't even handle the amount of people that needed to have funds and be supported.
That's true.
So I don't know if it's more so, you're fast-tracked because you were fired, or if because you just don't want to be confrontational.
Right. But
I've never been fired or never quit a job.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see myself being scared to quit a job.
I've not quit a job. I've left. I've been like, okay, our time's
fired before. Weren't you fired at your first station?
You're
taken off
air. No, I was taken off air. My first station, same thing. I wanted to keep working, and they were like, please leave.
You were the opposite of quiet quitting.
Yes, I was so
working
bad.
above and beyond, and they were like, this girl.
And I just wish we would get beyond this, because I would love.
You just want her to outright say,
if you don't want to work, then say I don't want to work anymore. But don't act like it's us who's making that decision, because we're not. What would you do? Would you, if you've received that text message, would you have let her go? And said, you're right.
Have her keep working until I was able to find a replacement. But I do know how hard it is to find a replacement, especially the hours that you're asking for. So I would give her maybe one more shot. Right. And if she continues to make comments like that, then you gotta let her go.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna one more shot. And if she's watching this, she's probably like, great. All right, one more mess up, and then I don't have to deal with these people anymore. And I'm like, just quit if you want.
All right, coming up, we have our Delco trivia. So in honor of Black History Month, of course, February, a question coming from Delco: where is the first Black-owned and operated swimming club in the United States?
I couldn't get this one. This was a cool surprise. All right, if you thought about it, where's the first Black-owned and operated swimming club in the United States?
Still operating today, and of course, it's open to all races. That was the purpose, because it was the Nile Swim Club in Yaden. Ding, ding, ding,
ding,
Yaden.
Ding, ding.
So it opened in July of 1959.
Wow.
And a little bit of backstory: it was established after two Black families applied for membership at the racially exclusive Yaden Swim Club, and they were denied. So in response, they built their own club, and they welcomed all races. And it, again, is still in operation today.
That's amazing.
So this is a picture actually from them breaking ground as they were creating the Nile Swim Club.
I love to see it. You got to do it,
I love it.
Make your own success. That is an awesome story.
I had you guessing Monica guessed everywhere. She was so close. I was like, Yaden is tiny, I feel. So it is. It's one of those places that, sometimes you
overlook sometimes.
Because you think of bigger, you said Upper Darby.
I said Ridley.
Yeah, so you think of larger, populations, I guess. But Yaden.
That's really a cool fact. Like we've been saying, we've had some really cool facts about Delco as not only the first in Delco, but the first in the United States.
Yeah.
I love it. Love to hear it. Okay.
All right, so we have a little bit of time left. Of course, next week we are looking for trivia, fun facts, anything to do with the Super Bowl. If you know things in Delaware County, of course.
Super Bowl related,
places that are doing really cool things, write into us, because we would love to be able to kind of visit and see, different types of foods or candies.
I can't believe it. I can't believe we're going to the Super Bowl and that we're on right before
the pre-show.
Again, the pre-show. And you know what happened last time we were the pre-show to the NFC Championship? We won.
Yes.
So next week, we are keeping it all Super Bowl. Email us.
Valentine's Day, too. A little bit. I love Valentine's Day.
Delco Duo, PHL17.com. Email us your issues and any fun facts.
Have a great night.